This the War Report, coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here, no safe space. Now listen in, time to hear from some of the greats.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. It's been a couple weeks. I have a lot of shit to say. This is going to be an interesting one because as usual I went away and a lot of shit went down. But welcome everybody to another edition. I had to start with a little Roman because after what we just saw the other night, just wait until you hear this and you don't know it's coming. And Roman returns because that babyface pop is going to be absolutely insane. And when he brings out Paul Heyman, unfucking believable. And we'll get into Paul Heyman because I got a lot to say with that too. But what's going on, guys?
Welcome back, Steve.
Yeah, man, welcome back. How's it going, brother? Good to see you.
Well, you know, I'm glad to be back because, you know, as usual, every time I fucking leave, either something really
donations down below for Steve to go away again next week.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, either tragedy happens or everything that I've been waiting for to happen fucking happens, right? I've been talking about Jacob Fatu. I don't know how long he decides to grace us with his presence. I get the Wyatt 6 comes out, and we'll get into that because I've listened. I'm all caught up with our show as well, and now of course. I was home for Paul Heyman, so we'll break it all down. But I know a lot of this was touched on over the last couple of weeks, so I'm just going to get this out quickly, and I'm going to start with the Wyatt 6. First of all, the way that debut was shot was absolutely fantastic. You felt like you were watching a horror movie. I thought it was great. I thought the presentation was great. I thought the debut was great. I fucking love it. And I love now what they're doing. Where they're doing these interviews with Bo and Uncle Howdy. But now you're starting to see they're one and the same. It's just, I love the way it's coming together. When you listen to Bo and you look at him up close. And you close your eyes, you almost hear Bray Wyatt. They sound, even facial expressions and things. I'm glad that they're trying to carry out the legacy. I don't think anyone else could do it other than Bo. I love that they brought Rowan in. Nikki Cross is a sick fuck, and I'm glad they're finally using her. I still think Alexa Bliss is coming. I still think Braun can turn at any moment and go back. I mean, there's a lot of good things, yes. Are there a couple people within this stable that nobody really gives a shit? We have to give them a chance to prove themselves. Could they have made other choices? Sure. But we got to give it a shot. So far, I haven't felt like they fucked it up yet. So we got to see where it goes, but I'm excited. I'm glad that they're doing something with Bo. He is talented. So I'm excited for that. So I don't care what anyone says. I'm all for the Wyatt 6, and I'm super pumped. Jacob Fatu is a fucking game changer. He has made the bloodline relevant again. This is now going to go in a whole nother, because Jacob at any moment can go to Roman too. I mean, Jacob, if it wasn't for his criminal background, he would have been a main guy in WWE 10 fucking years ago. He is awesome. I am so excited. I like what they're doing with him already. I like how the other ones kind of looked at him like, we didn't know this was happening. I love what Solo's doing right now as the head of the table. And then we get to Paul Heyman. And I got to say this, and then I'm going to just shut up and let everyone else jump in. But Paul fucking Heyman deserves an Oscar, first of all. For those of you who may not know, that man is so dedicated to his character and the storyline. He literally stayed up for a couple days. Like, he wanted his eyes to look that way, and he stayed awake. And he didn't shave for days, and he didn't dye his hair before showtime. His tie was disheveled and pulled. It looks like he's been going through hell, and he's terrified, and he can get himself to cry on a dime. And then I acknowledge that you are not my tribal chief, and the way he says it and the squeak in his voice, he is amazing. And the beatdown made you feel so fucking bad for Paul Heyman and so excited at the same time, because the next time we see Paul Heyman, it's going to be with his tribal chief. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, you've said it all. No, but the Paul Heyman thing's fantastic.
Autumn. I've been
Autumn
gone for 2 weeks.
Autumn welcomes you back.
You didn't even give me 7 fucking minutes, and we're already starting with the shit-stained start comments. Yes, we know she won the Money in the Bank. I'm glad. I want you to know something. This is going to shock everybody. I'm glad Zoe Starks won that match last night, because she's going to fucking get destroyed in Money in the Bank. I want to see that motherfucker go through 10 ladders. It's going to be brutal. And she's not going to win. I'm telling you right now, and I'm jumping all over the place, I'm sorry, but if I had to pick right now, the winner of that ladder match, first of all, I think the sleeper's Chelsea. That pop she got when I could totally see her winning. She's the sleeper choice.
Yeah, I think she's, yeah.
But the one that I think is, who else is in it? It's, I'm blanking all of a sudden. It's, shit-stained.
Tiffy Conley.
Tiffy. I think it's Tiffy, and if not Tiffy, the sleeper's Chelsea Green. It's one of those two.
It's got to be Tiffy.
Dave Abbey over at YouTube, she won't win, but she's going to have the most memorable moment. I mean, that's very possible, too.
Well, yeah, it's in Toronto, right?
Is it?
The first one of the night.
David Roska hitting on Autumn. What's up? Hey now. Trish Stratus is coming back this Sunday night. Where? Where is she coming Sunday?
Is there a show on Sunday night?
No, there's a pay-per-view Saturday.
Saturday.
And I don't think that's happening. David Autumn says, what's up? Love is in the air.
She's like 15, brother.
Yeah. There's a PLE on Sunday?
Is there?
Isn't Money in the Bank on Saturday? What the hell's on Sunday?
He meant Saturday.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, he's in Money in the Bank.
July 6th. It's Saturday. It's July 6th.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
plus
it's
we're just so used to them being on a Sunday. That we
Autumn is saying NXT Heatwave is on Sunday. I don't watch NXT. So. Trish Stratus will cost Zoe Starks from David Roscoe. I'd be down for that, but I don't see that happening. We're kind of jumping all over the place. Anything else you guys wanted to add about any of that other shit? I know you guys all covered it already, but Paul Heyman.
No, the Heyman thing is new. I mean, that was. How do you not have an argument that Paul Heyman is one of the best, if not the best? I mean, he's up there.
He's incredible.
It's hard to say because the guys like you would want to see do this stuff, like Bobby Heenan, wouldn't have had the opportunity in the 80s or whatever to do this kind of promo. Bobby Heenan could have pulled something like this off, and it would have been amazing. But the fact that Paul Heyman was able to do it, it created a moment, man. It created a very special thing. The new Fatu being here is fantastic, and I think he's going to be the linchpin to all this for the reformation of the Roman Reigns bloodline. I think Jacob is going to be the one that ends up getting the Usos back on board, and with I think Roman, Jacob, and the Usos are going to be like their version of the bloodline going against the Tongan version.
And that's when they become like faces, like Roman.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean, they're already giving "We Want Roman" chants all over the. Like Steve is right. The return pop he's going to get is going to be unfucking believable. By the way,
it's
Steve,
going to be on Triple H level.
Yeah, it's going to be SummerSlam. Yeah, it's going to be Triple H SummerSlam return level. Steve, Autumn's comment. What does it say?
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause you love him in London and Paris and Tokyo.
I fucking love him.
And Canada and Mexico. They say I believe
Ken, that's
in Joe
for you.
Hendry.
Is this really his intro?
I believe in Joe.
That's his entrance music. And he wrote it himself. More importantly, Cross' winning streak is over at 1. Unfortunately, that's true. They did hand a good ass whipping afterwards, but yes, as far as win-losses, once again, Alex and I are dancing to Joe Hendry. And David Rosca, WCW
Now
brand is
that-
coming back on Netflix. That I'm excited for.
Is that true?
I heard that rumor. I don't know how true it is, but I did hear that rumor. If it's true, it'll be interesting to see how that gets pulled off.
Yeah.
I mean, although I will say this, if Eric Bischoff isn't involved, I don't even want to watch it, quite honestly.
It's so far. Like, how would they get? It would just be WCW in the name. Like, who could they have around? Like, who would be back from the old WCW? They're all 60.
Rey Mysterio,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Yeah, he's the only one.
But by proxy, you'd have Dominic, Braun Breaker, and Pillman Jr. and Charlotte.
Well, there you go. Okay, yeah, just all the next generation of it. That could work. Another place for Charlotte to win a world title. Yeah, Autumn is reminding us of Zilla, Fatu. There's if they choose.
He's
to go
already
that way.
dropping hints on his Instagram and everything else, and I mean, he has partnered with Jacob for a
Right.
long time too.
Is he as big as Jacob?
No, he's younger.
Okay.
So he's a little leaner. But this kid, I see a lot of his father,
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
Umaga's son.
And he's Umaga's son, who's also an Us. It's this bloodline is going to go on forever. I mean, our kids' kids are going to know about Usos and this bloodline. It's the most dominant bloodline in all of professional wrestling.
Probably all of sports at this point.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we have
It's
Ken Griffey
unbelievable.
and his dad, but yeah, there's not like there's not like generation. It's not like Roberto Clemente had 12 kids that all played baseball. You know what I mean?
And the
Like,
thing is, too, they're all fucking good.
yeah, that's the weird thing. They're all
Like,
good
they're
at it.
all good. But look who they're watching and training with.
Yeah, I mean, it literally started with the Wild Samoans, and
Yeah.
those are the. I mean, that school. I know when Sika was getting sick, they were talking about closing it down, but I think Afa Jr. and some other people are keeping the school alive now and continuing
Oh, I'm sure.
to train people. But yeah, but here's the weird thing, Steve. I talked about this around WrestleMania. I said they're going to give Cody this title, and do they have a plan for him? Do they have, if WrestleMania was like their Avengers Endgame, is this just Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Five Rings or whatever it is? Like, what are we doing after?
I
Endgame?
heard your comments about
And I just think I think now, with the way they're building up this Roman return, he's going to get so overshadowed the second Roman comes back. The second he comes
Well-
back, Roman's going to be a way bigger deal than Cody.
See, so well, yes,
It's
but
a bigger
here's
deal with Cody, and he's not even there.
well, right, but here's the thing: if they're gonna do something with Cody and the Bloodline 2.0, they got to do that now before Roman comes back.
Right, and that's why
Maybe Roman is the one that saves Cody in the end, right? Because that would be a mind fuck. But the way, but you got to do it before Roman, because you're right. Then the focus is going to be back on Roman, and then they got to figure out what they're going to do with Cody. I don't have a problem with Cody feuding with the Bloodline again. Like you had made a comment, it's just redoing the same thing, but it is different people within this is Bloodline 2.0. It's a little different. This is a more psychopathic version of the Bloodline. Like these are the nutcases of the family. You know what I mean, so to speak. Which I still think, in the end, it's going to come out that The Rock was pulling all the strings.
Oh, I think so too.
And that's going to set up Rock and Roman for Mania in Vegas. But I think this is all going to set up Bloodline Survivor Series War Games.
I feel like it has to.
And I only pray and hope that they include Sami Zayn. Because now as a face, and he can be his goofy self and everything, it'll be awesome. But I don't know if they'll go back to Sami. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, he's not real Bloodline.
Yeah, but if they did keep Jacob on that side, and it was Jacob, the two Tongans, and Solo, and there's that four, and then they have Roman, the Usos, and Sami, and that's their four. But is War Games 5? War Games usually 5-on-5 though, right? Or is it 4-on-4?
It could be either.
It can be. It's been either, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely ways they can structure those teams or add different people that would make sense. Sami Zayn's definitely the one that makes the most sense. The thing with I mean about Cody feuding with the Bloodline though is like you're bringing him back into this thing, and Roman is coming back, and if Roman's focus is supposed to be the Bloodline and Cody's over there involved with the Bloodline dangling that world title in front of him, if we're already talking about Rock against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, are we saying that Cody keeps the world title until WrestleMania and challenges, has a challenger there? Or are we saying that somehow Cody loses the title to The Rock or Roman Reigns, and then that title's on the line at WrestleMania?
I haven't thought that far ahead yet, quite honestly, with Cody. But the only thing I agree with is that that's why they have to pull the trigger if they're going to do Cody solo. They got to do it now before Roman comes back. I think this bought them some time. Like, I don't think Roman comes back immediately. I still think now you're just not going to see Heyman. Heyman's been written off, but he's going to return with Roman. So that may have bought some more time. I mean, I don't think we see Roman up until, I think, after SummerSlam. Or he returns at SummerSlam. Cody solo, the Bloodline attacks Cody after the match, after Cody wins, out comes Roman, makes it safe.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet to say Roman's not coming back until SummerSlam or later.
I'm reading shit that people are like, oh, he's going to be on next week. No, he fucking is not.
No.
I mean, they got to draw this out now. They're going to replay Heyman getting destroyed over and over again so that it's embedded in everyone's brains, But Paul Heyman is officially going down as the greatest of all time. His dedication, there's nobody better. He
and also,
really is.
at 58, to do those kinds of bumps.
Dave Abbey over at YouTube. Cody will probably wrestle AJ and Shinsuke 6 more times before WrestleMania.
Got to pad that win record, yeah.
Eric, what were you saying?
Oh, shit. Damn it. Thanks, Dave.
Train left the station. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of time to see where all this is going to shape up. I just know that I'm excited about Jacob Fatu, man. It's just everything about him, his look, his demeanor. He can talk if he has to, and he's just good, and he's agile, man. I like how they're calling him the werewolf, Jacob Fatu. I love everything about it.
He makes no look small
than he's ever been, too.
What?
He's leaner than he's ever been, also.
Oh, yeah. The only thing, too, though, like, I think I've been hearing a lot too, they're going to have a lot of issues with him participating in international shows because of his felony record.
Like, he might not even be at Money in the Bank due to that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then look for him to get like written off with like they used to do that for Jeff Hardy, like right before an international pay-per-view. He'd just get like dropped on the ring steps or something, and he'd just
Honestly,
be knocked out.
I don't think they do anything. They just don't have him show up.
I honestly, what I would do is lean into his past and say shit like the Solo could say that this man is so dangerous that he couldn't even travel with us.
Listen, they might actually do that. I mean, listen.
Embrace it.
Fox is really pissing off WWE.
Oh God!
With all the bleeping and the blacked out screen and everything else, they're pissed about it. They've talked to the Fox about it. I doubt it's going to change, but all we know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and eventually it's going to Netflix, and it's going to be no more PG era, and it's going to be edgier. There's rumors Raw may go to 2 hours and SmackDown go to 3. There's a lot of different things they're talking about. I can't fucking wait. This is going to be awesome. You will never have to worry about bleeping and if it goes over, if you miss something. There'll probably even be more content on Netflix. It's going to be awesome. But I'm over this bullshit. I mean, it's almost... To get through a segment, it's like you're yelling at the crowd, shut the fuck up and stop chanting because they're bleeping everything out. Nia Jax was coming out the other day. They blacked out the whole screen because the kid was giving her the finger. We can't show the finger?
That's pretty funny.
Are you kidding me? I've seen some of the shit that's airing on Fox at 8, 9 o'clock at night that no child should ever fucking see. And,
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I mean, Austin was doing it like it was a term of
Steve
endearment.
seems happy.
Tell us how you really feel, Steve. It's weird though, because that's a new development.
Yeah.
Where did it come? Like all of a sudden, it's an issue. Like I don't understand how it became an issue now, as opposed to an issue when, like,
Because they know
They
that
first
the end
started
is near.
so they're just messing with him. Okay,
I think so.
interesting.
But don't they know you don't fuck with wrestling fans?
It's
But when-
absurd.
When does the SmackDown deal actually end?
Not soon enough. What?
I think David is wishful thinking here with the WCW and the Steve Austin thing. Maybe it's stunning Steve Austin from WCW.
Maybe he'll come out with blonde hair.
That's right. They made me get these extensions. What?
What?
Extensions? What?
Goldust, can I borrow your wig?
Oh, God, could you
I
imagine?
called him up. I said, Dustin, let me borrow the wig, son. He said, buy your own goddamn wig.
God, could you imagine?
And with the stunner, I threw my cat Poncho. Poncho, get him. Damn it, Poncho. You ever seen this fucking cat? He loves this cat, dude.
I'm loving what they're doing with Braun Breaker.
He's incredible.
Oh,
He's a fucking specimen.
David Rosca. He called me Stone Cold Steve Austin is back. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. You can always call me Steve Austin. I'm down with that.
Oh, that's okay.
Stone Cold
Yes.
Steve Glenwick.
It's with this. It's the shaved head. I think. There you go.
It is a shaved head. He's a beast. He's an absolute beast. He really is such a nice mix of his dad and his uncle.
Oh, Braun Breaker. Yeah, man. He's a guy that I think they know. I think they know what they've got with him,
Yeah.
and they've just got to. He's somebody that anytime they turn the switch, he's like a break in a case of emergency break glass. If somebody
I don't
doesn't
see
know
him
that
losing.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
see
taking
him-
the title, right?
Yeah, I don't see him losing.
Right,
to
he's
Sammy.
going to be running through Sammy, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if he runs through him, but I don't see Sammy losing, or
Yeah.
Braun losing to
Because-
Sammy.
Yeah, because I did Braun's match with Dragunov like a few weeks ago because Dragunov didn't look bad. He still
Dragunov
looked
looks
great,
incredible.
and he put in a lot of offense. So he he still came out looking great, but Braun still looked like a beast. So everyone won.
Everyone won. Braun's an animal. So listen, I want to kind of change the subject for a minute because Dave Abbey over at YouTube made a comment. I'm going to hold off showing it, but I actually want Vince to take this one off because we are coming off another outstanding pay-per-view with All Elite Wrestling, and Vince got himself a ticket and made the ride out to Boston. Got great seats.
Long Island, buddy.
Oh, right, Long Island. Sorry, MJF's hometown. I don't know what I'm thinking. Which, by the way,
Boston was the other one. The Mercedes
MJF's interview with Dave LaGreca on Busted Open was awesome. Justin, if you haven't heard it, you got to go back and see it. But, any event, talk to us about it because I know you were there live. How was it? How was the crowd?
The crowd was interesting because it was pretty close to a sellout. They said there was 11,000 something tickets available and something like 10,000 and change were sold, maybe close to 11. So it was like almost a sellout. If you looked, you didn't see that many empty seats, as people like to point out. And it's like, you could see a couple, but I mean, it's like, it was a packed house. The UBS arena was packed. There were Long Island is simultaneously MJF / AEW territory because they've done a lot of shows there, but it's also very much a WWE stronghold. There were people starting CM Punk chants. There were people holding bringing WWE belts around. Like it was a mix of all different kinds of wrestling fans. Whereas when I went to like Boston or I've been to other AEW shows, I didn't notice as many WWE type like there used to be a very clear divide of WWE fans don't really go to AEW shows. That wasn't the case Sunday night. So it was interesting to see how people who might not be as familiar or maybe watch WWE more reacted to the show. It was an interesting experience all around because I was kind of sitting behind, like, I didn't realize, it didn't tell me. I thought I was getting the diagonal of looking at the entrance ramp from across the arena diagonally, but I was diagonally to the right. Like if you were looking at the tunnels, I was to the left of the tunnels. So I was watching people come out, but I wasn't seeing their faces. I was seeing their backs come down the ramp, and then I had like a clear shot of the ring. I was jazzed, dude. I was able to see Naito wrestle and win a world title for the first, I've stayed up until 7 o'clock in the morning overnight to watch Wrestle Kingdom to watch Naito win world championships. And that was so cool to see him live. Fucking Tanahashi. I got to see Tanahashi wrestle. I mean, the New Japan talent that's out there, of course, Okada, but now he's an AEW guy. Hechicero against MJF. MJF is great. Hechicero is a guy that I think that AEW is going to have room for because he's phenomenal. Man, I can't name a bad match. Fucking DMD came back. Britt Baker came back.
Huge pop.
Oh, and first of all, Stephanie Vaquer made a star out of herself. Long Island remembered that Sasha Banks was from Boston, or Mercedes Moné was from Boston at one point, so they started saying fuck Boston and Red Sox suck and Celtics suck and all that stuff, so effectively turned her heel. I'm seeing double, 4 Erics. No. But that was a moment. Like, first of all, Stephanie Vaquer is a star. Her and Mercedes had a hell of a match. One of the matches of the night. And then Britt Baker comes back to a huge reaction. That's going to be great because Britt was always in the world title scene, and people were like sick of her in the world title thing. She's going to fit right in the TNT title scene, especially against Mercedes. OC against Zack Sabre Jr. was phenomenal. Like that one, it shouldn't have surprised me. Phenomenal. Shingo against Danielson, phenomenal. Getting to see, I mean, the American Dragon against the Japanese Dragon, and Shingo is just like a machine. I loved that match, and I mean, match of the night, match of the month, match of the whatever was Swerve and Ospreay. I mean, that was the ladder match. Holy shit, that ladder match for the TNT title. We'll talk. We can. But Ospreay and Swerve put on one hell of a wrestling match. The ending solidified Swerve as a world champion. It showed what you had to do to keep a guy like Will Ospreay down. It showed how good Swerve had to beat a guy as proven as Ospreay. There were storyline implications. Don Callis got involved. Will Ospreay didn't cheat. He ultimately was given the opportunity to use a weapon and didn't, and had like a crisis of conscience and threw down the screwdriver, and that ultimately cost him the match because he was so distracted with Don Callis and the screwdriver and the contemplation over doing it or not. And it all made sense. Will Ospreay didn't need to win the world. As much as I would have loved to seen a world title change being there live, Will Ospreay didn't need to win that world title that night. That was the right finish for the company. It was the right finish for Swerve. And
Swerve is on such a roll. You can't disturb that momentum right now.
And Ospreay already has this international championship, so that's good enough. He's still got a belt. It just goes to show that these two guys are two of the top guys in the company, and there's a reason. And there's a reason that Swerve right now is the world champion. And you have to we're going to have to watch Will Ospreay figure out what he needs to build to being the champion. Now he's back at the bottom. He lost to Swerve, so he needs to either win a tournament or get on a winning streak and win like a number one contenders match in order to get back into the world title scene. So he's going to have to interact with the Don Callis family. He's going to have to go through, Konosuke Takeshita. He's going to have to go through all these guys that are going to be standing in his way to get back to that world title. And I feel like when he eventually wins it again, he's going to win that world title. It's happening. When he wins that world title, the next time he challenges, whether it's Swerve or whoever, and he wins, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a huge reaction, whatever arena, whether it's not going to be London because that's the Owen Hart tournament winner, but wherever they do it and wherever Ospreay wins that title, he's made. He's a made guy. Him, and then you've got 4 that you've generated homegrown. Hangman, MJF, Swerve, and Ospreay that you built up from essentially nothing into world title contenders and then world champions, and legit, not just like, hey, we give this guy a title. They are legit world champions. And Swerve is a world champ, man. Look at the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he wrestles. And he had to throw everything at Will Ospreay to put him down, man. It was fucking phenomenal. If you haven't seen that match, you should go check it out.
Dave Abbey thinks Ospreay wins rematch at Wembley. And Ryan, our intern Stone Cold, is sponsored by Just for Men, which is pretty funny.
I got the touch of gray, son. I need just a little touch up. What? Touch up. What? Black hair. What?
That's hilarious.
What if he got that guy from remember when Howard Finkel got the...
I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers.
Oh no.
5 beers.
Oh
6 beers. 7 beers. 8 beers. 9 beers.
At the end from Jerry Lawler kills me.
Oh no!
Remember when Finkel got the, what was it, Just for Men wig?
Yeah.
Cy Sperling.
Didn't he wrestle Cy
Hair Club
Sperling,
for Men.
or they did like a tuxedo match or something?
No, I don't think he wrestled. I don't think he ever wrestled Cy Sperling. They had him come out to the ring and like
I know he was there.
they unveiled his toupee with Cy Sperling there.
That's funny.
Yeah, the not just for, it was what do they call it? Hair Club for Men.
Hair Club for Men.
So, yeah, man, I think, I don't know if you people might not be regular watchers of AEW, if you're not a weekly watcher or whatever. These pay-per-views are always a reason to tune in. I got out of there at midnight on the dot, maybe 12:02 or something. It wasn't a huge, it was a 4-hour long pay-per-view. There was an hour-long pre-show. It flew by. Like, I wasn't sitting there checking my watch. I wasn't like, this was too long. I got to get out of here. I got to beat the traffic. It was a good show, man.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the one thing with AEW is, like you said, every pay-per-view is a home run.
And
they really are.
My strategy of going on a day or two before to get tickets that scalpers couldn't sell has worked the last couple times. So I think the next one, not to jinx it, is Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and that's a Wednesday night. That's a Dynamite. So on a Monday or a Tuesday night, maybe on a Tuesday night while I'm sitting here on the show, I'll be on StubHub on my phone picking out tickets to go to Arthur Ashe the next day.
That's awesome.
Because I haven't been. That's an interesting setup. That's the tennis stadium, where they did the U.S.
It's
Open.
beautiful, and they can pack a lot of people in there.
Yeah, that's a huge, and I've never been there for tennis or anything else, so it'd be interesting to check that out. Maybe I can go. But I mean, geez, it's a fun ride right now. This youth movement in AEW, they're really pushing new talent. They're pushing Daniel Garcia. They're trying to build him up. Jungle Boy, well, Jack Perry, he just won the TNT championship. There's a lot of good talent out there, man. They have a good crop of young guys, and as soon as any of them are ready, they can put them up there with Swerve. They can put them up there with Osprey, and they'll just knock it out. And Hangman's coming back. They announced on Saturday, they had a little video that Hangman will be coming back. So he could be the wild card that's facing Jeff Jarrett in the Owen Hart tournament. But we don't know yet for sure. But Hangman will be back, which means he's coming after Swerve. We're gonna get another round of Swerve and Hangman, which I cannot wait for.
Which is now going to be a heel Hangman.
Yeah, it's going to be completely flipped.
Yeah, the roles reversed.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do.
I think people have to remember and give credit now that wrestling, in general, I think right now is hitting on all cylinders. All the companies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Good time to be a wrestling fan.
It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I haven't felt this way since the wars. It's really, Triple H is just doing one hell of a job with WWE. What he's been able to do and turn it around so far, I'm very excited to see where it goes. I also, Wednesday, tomorrow, YouTube is going to be that WrestleMania behind the curtain deal.
Oh.
And that's going to be interesting to see. They're going to peel back the curtain a little bit and let you in on some inside shit. So it's going to be pretty good. Why it's going on YouTube, but you got to go on YouTube to watch it.
Yeah, that's weird that it would be on YouTube.
I guess they're trying to push their YouTube channel, but I don't know why.
Yes.
Maybe it'll allow some cursing.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's some stuff that they can't put on TV, yeah.
Well, anything with The Rock.
But yeah, he was even during that match, he was
he'll
clearing
drive
up a storm.
F-bombs, man.
Oh, yeah, he don't give a shit. I'm The Rock. What the fuck are you going to do to me?
Literally, what can they do to him? He's
right.
Like one of the chairman of the something. Like he's an executive,
Oh, yeah.
He makes the decisions.
Yeah.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants. It's The
Mhm.
Rock. So, so it looks like Gable and they're finally going to start moving this along with Gable and the wrestlers. What are those two?
The Creed brothers.
Creed brothers. I'm excited for that. I'm glad Otis finally decided to leave Gable, and I love how the Wyatt Six have been kind of fucking with him.
So they're messing with him, and then they're not messing with Jey Uso yet, right? They're just messing with
Not yet, but because if you listen to what Bo Dallas said when he was talking to himself, he doesn't like what he's doing to his family. It's disrespectful. So I think he was referring to that, and that's why he was one of the people that they focused on.
But the thing is, once Roman comes back, you got to get Jay back into the bloodline story.
But well, they will. I mean, I think you're going to reunite Jimmy and Jay.
Well, yeah, they got to.
Which I'm excited for, but part of me, I love what they've been able to do with Jay as a main event guy. I mean, look what he's been able to do. You're away from him. I mean, and that's nothing against Jimmy. I love the Usos together. They're one of the greatest tag teams ever. But although not like Jay's been able to win any titles.
Yeah, if Jay doesn't win Money in the Bank, then they're just gonna put him back as a tag team with Jimmy.
Right now, he's my pick for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, me too.
I hope he wins it. I love
He's
Jay.
gotta win something.
Well, that's the thing. You keep saying
You know what I mean?
what a good job he's doing as a main event guy, but he's like, he don't have
Well,
a show for it yet.
Being a good main event guy is not about winning titles or winning losses. Every match he puts on is a home run. What he's been able to do as a solo act now with the crowd and everything else, he's the hottest fucking thing on the show most nights. That's what I mean by.
And he'd probably challenge whoever the Raw champion. He wouldn't switch over and try and go against Cody because that was like his guy. He would probably go against Damian Priest or Seth Rollins or whoever has the title.
I agree with that.
Dave, much like the movie Mean Girls, stop trying to make Karrion Kross a thing. It's just not going to be a thing. He's not. I mean, listen, he's a nice guy. He's got very nice teeth and all that stuff. He's got very nice teeth. That's the first thing you see. You can see those shits in the dark.
He also gets to sleep with Scarlett. I mean, that's a win.
Right.
In real life?
Yes, in real life. Yeah, they're
married.
They're married in real life.
Oh, good for him.
I know.
But I don't know. I mean, unless they would have to do so much rehabilitation. Honest to God, I think he would need to leave and come back with a new name in like a year for them to start fixing him. Like,
Just
I don't
have him come back with bondage.
Yeah, don't have him dress up like somebody from 300 walking into a BDSM club.
See, this is what bothers me, because Dave Abbey's right. He was an animal in NXT and Impact, and they just fucked it up. I don't know why they can't book him properly, but it would start with him having more than one win. I mean, it's
more than one win. Yeah,
you know. I mean, what the fuck?
See the new Shinsuke?
No, Shinsuke won stuff occasionally.
I feel like the one last attempt, like if this isn't working, one last attempt at Karrion Kross is to have him do his like Jesse Ventura impression and maybe have him be a comedy guy. I don't know.
Have somebody hit him in the head.
He does a damn good Jesse Ventura.
Yeah,
we played that on the air not too long ago.
Yeah, if he's walking backstage and somebody on the crew is like carrying a ladder and they accidentally hit him in the head and he's like, "Hey, watch where you're going. Didn't you know I was a governor?" And they're like, "Karrion, what are you talking about?" "You don't know what I know. I was there. The Gulf of Tonkin. They tried to kill our boys." And you're like, "That's the time." I hope. Yes, I'm on board. I'm 100% on board with head trauma Karrion Kross pretending to be Jesse Ventura. Oh, and Dijak. Yes, Dave.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. I was there. Jesse Ventura's here? I was doing tricep extensions in the Gulf of Tonkin. I'm a frogman, so are you, Chris. Come on now. We ain't got time to bleed here in the gym. Don't tell me you don't.
I mean, amazing.
I ain't got time to bleed.
And they screwed Dijak as well. You know, listen, they did. And that's... Dijak is one of those that blows my mind that they couldn't figure out how to make him work. I mean, here's a guy, he has the size, he had the look, he had the mic skills, and he had he did things that a guy his size should never be able to do. And you fuck him around and you tell him he's going to resign, and then you don't offer him a contract. And I don't know, man. I thought that was really fucked up. They never gave him a fair shake. You call him up from NXT and he was doing well. You call him up to the main roster, you never use him, you just let him go?
Crazy.
What the fuck are we doing? And you know what? Dijak holds a little special place in our hearts too, right? I mean, we fucking know Dijak.
We know him, and he was a guest on the show several years ago.
Shortly, and
before he signed.
He
had signed already. He just hadn't. It wasn't public yet. I knew. We just couldn't talk about it.
That was Ivar Warbeard.
Look at those.
We knew about that.
He had with Keith Lee and NXT.
Oh yeah, Keith Lee and Dijak had
some of the best matches ever in NXT.
NXT Portland?
I don't remember where it was.
They had a couple of them that were just crazy. And they wrestled that style of like the big men who still do like a Brian Cage thing where they wrestle like a light heavyweight, but they're heavyweights. And that's what makes it more impressive is like Dijak is super tall. He's not as big as Keith Lee, like weight-wise, but like that's the other. Both
he was
of them
taller than Keith Lee, though.
That's the thing. He was taller than Keith Lee, and Keith Lee's a little more solid, width-wise. But both of them being able to do top rope moves, dives to the outside, all these kinds of flips and stuff, and just reversals and counters, and it was amazing. It's amazing. Those guys, when they wrestled each other, they had such chemistry. It was amazing.
And Kross beat the crap out of both of them, which is true.
He was there. He was at the Gulf of Tonkin. You don't know what I know.
What's going on with Keith Lee? Is there any word that he's going to be coming back at all anywhere? Or
no, I mean...
I know he had some health issues, but I don't really know the extent of it.
Right, and I don't know if there was some sort of injury. I thought the last I heard with AEW is that he was injured, but I mean, that was a while ago. You'd think he'd be over it, but I just don't. I think once he got COVID, and this is just, I'm not a doctor. I don't know the guy personally.
That's when all the shit happened.
Right. It seemed like he got COVID, which then led to other health problems down the chain, and then he had a couple physical injuries. I think he had a shoulder injury in AEW at one point, but like, yeah, whatever momentum he had, I mean, COVID and then injuries just stopped it dead. And not that he couldn't come back, but I mean, also, how old is Keith Lee now? He's got to be he was great. He had gray hair in NXT. So
I mean, he's got to be mid-40s. He's got to be.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's whatever it is, I hope that, much like Big E, yeah. I don't know if Big E is ever going to wrestle again, but I hope that he's okay enough to like live a normal life. And that's the same thing with Keith Lee. I hope that even if he doesn't wrestle again, I hope that the health problems that he has aren't like affecting his day to day, and like, he can't like go to the grocery store because he's fucking in pain or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. I wish him the best. He's a good talent.
Oh, for sure.
Steve, you might appreciate this. All of you would. Here's a little factoid I learned recently. Within a week of Jacob Fatu's debut, he was in the top 5 sellers of WWE merch.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm telling you, you know from the pop.
Yep.
That people knew exactly who it was and they were excited.
And also,
Jacob has made a name for himself. Well, commentary did a great job, but the people that are there live aren't hearing the commentary, and they popped. They knew. He's made a name. MLW, like, he's been around, and he's just, I'm excited, man.
You use the word game changer, and you're right. It's the correct terminology, because it is. And also, and I said this last week, I said, for any of you who had doubts about the, legitimacy of the newer bloodline, he just solidified it.
Oh yeah, without question. And all of them. I love this whole new crew. Yeah. They're all great. They really are. So we'll have to see how the stories play out. Solo really can't afford a loss right now either, because that kind of kills their momentum. So it'd be interesting to see, because if you do pull the trigger with him and Cody, one of them's got to lose, and it's not Cody.
Right. So, I mean, I guess the idea would be the Bloodline wins, as they usually do, wins the multi-man match due to Bloodline shenanigans.
That they're winning.
Yeah.
I don't see them losing that match.
Because they win that, Solo gets, given the world title opportunity at SummerSlam. But you're right. He's not going to win. And therein lies the Cody Rhodes problem.
Unless they've been dropping hints with Orton, too.
Maybe Orton turns on Cody.
Well, or not that he turns, but maybe you start to see more of the, somebody gets hit by accident, but they don't know.
Right.
Things, it doesn't take much to get Orton to flip. So
that is true.
But we'll see.
Hell, their loss could be it could end up being due to a miscommunication between them two.
Yeah.
Or maybe we see Zillow Fatu show up.
Oh. Well, that's a way.
Just add another one.
I mean, they might, get that tall guy too.
Oh, the other
Tongan.
The other Hikuleo.
Oh yeah, I know that one too. There's so many of them.
Right, and he's another Tongan, like you said. I wonder the ones that they have now, the Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. I wonder if they will have them tag together, because they were tagging in New Japan, and then to have them the parallel to the Usos.
I mean, I want to see them versus the Usos.
Right, and I think that's probably coming down the line at one point or another.
So
'Cause that's a
fucking
money
exciting to see where it goes. It's gonna be amazing. I have very high hopes. So let's see. Hopefully Triple H continues and he doesn't fuck this up.
Man, we'll see. Like you said, there's enough Usos and relatives and all that to keep it interesting and to keep new
You
talent.
still need a
coming in.
woman. You gotta get a woman in there.
Well, then you need 2 women, don't you? There's a civil war.
Oh, one for each.
Yeah.
Well, then you have what? You got Snuka, you got Tamina, and then
Nia
you got
and,
Nia.
and Naomi. You can
Nia and
just use
Naomi,
those
yeah.
two.
Naomi
Then
would be
there's
the first
Tonga
one.
Twins.
Oh, the Tonga Twins. There you go. See, they left WoW. Was it Women of Wrestling? I think they left Women of Wrestling.
They are free agents right now.
Yep. So that's possible.
That is possible.
Tonga Twins.
I haven't even seen them wrestle, and I know they're automatically better than the Bellas.
That doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't take much at all to be better than the Bellas.
Well, we are
Yeah,
getting
man.
to that point of the night. We're getting close to the top of the hour. Anyone else have anything else that's gone on that we want to address before we wrap?
I just want to say another thing about the Wyatt thing for a second. You mentioned it's like watching a horror movie, and that's exactly right. And for me, I noticed something. Like their debut, like that thing, was very much like a Hitchcock movie or the way Jaws was, where you didn't see the shark for like 75% of the movie.
Right.
It was very well done. And then this whole psychotic breakdown of Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy. It's so well done.
It's great. The writing is great. The masks are great. Everything about it so far, I think, is great. I'm excited to see where it goes. I haven't been disappointed yet. And it gives me Bray Wyatt feels, which is never a bad thing.
You know what I think they should also do? Like the stuff they've done with Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda, whatever you want to call him. I think that would be cool if they did that for each of the members to kind of like get an understanding of their psyche.
They might. That might be next.
Right.
Maybe more VHS tapes are coming. That's the other thing. I love the VHS tapes.
Quick, someone find a VCR.
Yeah, they literally had to go find a VCR somewhere.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to cover before we take it home?
No, I think he's right. I think we just got to wait and see with these with this Wyatt Six thing. It's too soon to tell. My concern is that they went from tearing up the entire locker room area to just chasing after Chad Gable, and it's like, okay.
Well, they made a statement.
Right.
Now they're focusing on one, and more is to come. This is very new, like you said. We have to just see where it goes.
We'll just see where it goes.
Is it possible to spread this out where you don't see them actually wrestle until WrestleMania? Is that possible?
It's possible. I don't know that
WrestleMania.
they'll do that. That's a long time.
I think
It's a long
SummerSlam.
time.
One of them's got to wrestle by SummerSlam.
Yeah. Maybe you don't see Uncle Howdy wrestle till Mania. Maybe everyone else just wrestles. That's possible. Make him like a special attraction kind of thing. But who knows? We got to see where it goes. But on that note,
Right.
It is top of the hour.
Yes,
That's there
it is.
before.
Wow, that one flew by. I forgot to mention this, Steve. You're going to need to reconnect your LinkedIn. It gave me the warning earlier today, so just do that because I couldn't. I'm sorry if you usually listen on Steve's LinkedIn and you couldn't today, and you're listening somewhere else. I'm sorry, but we broadcast all over the internet. We live stream on the Tag Me a Date Facebook, the Tag Me a Date YouTube, the Tag Me a Date Twitch, and then the Tag Me a Date Twitter as well, and then my personal Facebook because for some reason my fan page does not have enough likes, so they put it on my regular page. I don't fucking know, but generally Our social media is at Tag Me a Date. That's the easiest way to find the podcast. At Tag Me a Date, no spaces. That's going to be your way to get us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Most platforms are at Tag Me a Date. If you go to YouTube and type in Tag Me a Date, you'll hit the subscribe button. You hit the bell to get notified when we go live. The only different one, as I said, is Twitch. It's twitch.tv/War Report, and that's all one word as well, War Report. And you can add us as a favorite there or a friend or whatever they call it on Twitch, and you can watch over there. Basically, wherever you're watching right now, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, et cetera, just stay there. We'll be there next week. Whatever page you clicked on, just click on the same page you did today, and you'll be fine. We go up at 9 o'clock Eastern time now, and we do this live stream where you can see the archives on YouTube and Twitch if you want to scroll back and listen to older episodes. I'm sure you can do it on Twitter and Facebook as well. It just seems like it would be a big pain in the butt to try and scroll that far back to watch old episodes that way. I think YouTube and Twitch will probably be the easiest way to get replays for you if you want the video versions. But if you want audio versions of the podcast, we are on your favorite podcast app: Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. Just search for The War Report, search for Tag Me a Date. It will come up. Hit the subscribe button. We upload the audio file, or Ryan does rather, takes that audio file and uploads it within the hour of us going off the air. Thank you, Ryan, for doing that. And there are 2 podcasts, wrestling podcasts, called The War Report. So to make it easier for you, both the graphic and the description of the podcast mention Tag Me a Date. It says Steve, it says Vince, it says Eric. You know what I mean? It mentions everybody. It mentions Tag Me a Date. You're going to know it's us. The other one won't say that, so don't subscribe to them. I'm sure they're lovely people. Just don't, whatever. Subscribe to us instead. And with that being said, just real quick, no Tara tonight. Tara, I hope if you're listening to this later, Tara, I hope you're doing all right. Autumn, thanks for chiming in earlier. Both Dave A and David Roska, thanks for chiming in. Of course, Ryan was in the comments as well. And if you have a question or a comment, you can hit up YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, et cetera. And if you put in the comment live while we are live on the air, we'll put it up on the screen. We'll address your question or comment. And we do like getting them because it does help us further the conversation. And sometimes if you guys are watching like NXT or something like that, then you can tell us what's going on. What is the, help me out with this one. What is Dave saying? Screw CDK. Is that California Pizza Kitchen?
I agree, Dave.
I'll explain. Yeah, I agree. I'll explain as soon as we get off the air. Yes, screw CDK.
Oh boy, this is an inside thing. All right, well,
get me all hot.
But yeah, if you have a comment like that, we'll put it on the air, even if we don't know quite what it means, and we'll address it. We do, as I said, your comments definitely help the conversation go around, and we like seeing our regulars in there. So thank you, Dave, David, Ryan, and Autumn. And with all that being said, I guess we'll call it a day for this week. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Eastern Time with another edition of the War Report After Dark. I do want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, and spread the word, man. Just share it, like, comment, all that stuff. And we will be back next week for another edition of the War Report After Dark. Have a good one, everybody.